All right. We are recording. Awesome. Okay. I had a couple of announcements, but I can wait on some of those until the Haya gets on here, so then we don't have to repeat so much. Okay. So let's Kiara, have you seen your tickets yet for the flights?
Yeah, I can maybe pull them up real quick.
Um, you have a long layover in Seattle on the way back, right?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Our team has an even longer one, if I remember correctly. And so we are planning on trying to get a hotel for the night. Um, so I don't know if you and Virginia want us to look for a hotel room for you guys too, or if you are just going to hang out at the airport. I think ours is more like 18 hours.
Okay, I can talk to Virginia and see what she wants to do.
Okay, that'd be great. And then you have your insurance card to Rochelle, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. Okay, so today's meeting is going to be to do with cultural things from Thailand. Let's do that. There. All right. Yes. Just gonna here. Present. All right. Everyone can see the share screen. All right. Again, interrupt if you have questions. Kira, I do not mind if someone needs to ask something. So feel free. I'm not making sense, let me know. Okay, so Bloom International. All right. Oops. Oh, yeah. All right, there we go. The vision to see a world where every woman and child knows they have self worth and dignity. The mission to help individuals find their purpose and to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. And then we have an update here. So this is what our t-shirts are going to look like. So it's the left front. Yeah. Okay, so the left there that has the city looking swirl around the globe is going to be the front, and then the bloom with the verse is going to be on the back of the shirts. And that's from Matthew 28, verses 18 to 20. And what color are the shirts going to be?
The plan was blue, but I think Rochelle said that they printed it in white or did it in white. So
okay,
I'm not 100% sure.
So there's potential the shirts will be blue, but not 100% sure. So there you go. This program is sometimes slow. Back. Culture of Thailand. We are going to the elephant camp again this year. This is the picture from last year, Kira, when you actually get to go in with the elephants. You get to feed the elephants, walk around with them. They swim. If you want to swim with the elephants, you can swim and just hang out. There's a lot of elephant camps. This one actually really takes care of their elephants very well, which is why Rochelle has kind of gone back to them year after year. That was our team from last year, or at least most of the team.
Yes, everybody.
All right. So to start off with just some general facts about Thailand. The official name is the Kingdom of Thailand. And it's the only Southeast Asian country that was never colonized. Um, I like to give one of those fun facts. If you've ever seen the movie The King and I, or I think it's Anna and the King is the other remake one, and the country in there was Siam. That's Thailand. They westernized their government and some other things and avoided being taken over, which was very difficult. No other country did that in that area. All right, national colors. So red, white, and blue, but not the same color red or white as we have here in the US. Move that up. That side. Oh, that works. So the Thai flag. Oh, why the computer's closed?
The weather.
The weather.
Yeah.
Ranch, are you getting rain down by you? I think you said no, but I saw your mouth move.
No, not yet.
All right. Oh, for goodness. Here we go. Finally started catching up. Okay. The country's animal is the elephant. The currency is the baht. You can see there's two different forms of baht. They updated their money back in 2016. Their king died, and the new king came, so they put the new king's face on the new money, and it's very colorful. It's going so slow. All right, temples. There are 35,000 estimated temples in Thailand. It is a very Buddhist nation. And then the population is 71 million. So I looked that up. It is almost twice as many people as what California has, and only maybe 30% bigger as far as landmass, just to give everyone an idea. There's a lot of people there. Right. The government. That is the government emblem. I don't know what it is. Some sort of eagle creature. God, I believe.
That's what it looks like.
And it's important to know that the royal family was basically the government up until I forget, it was like 50 or 60 years ago. Everything went through them. It is now considered a constitutional monarchy. And there's a picture of the present king. I do not know how to say his name. If anyone wants to try, go ahead. But okay. Oops. So the capital is Bangkok. We are going to Chiang Mai, which is part of the Northern Kingdom. And the government system is kind of a mix between Western principles, ideas, laws, as well as traditional Thai laws and principles mixed with this Hindu Buddhism influence. Some people think it's amazing that they did it all this way. Other people think it's super inefficient. There is some corruption here and there, like any of the countries over there. But here's the big warning for everybody: it is illegal to criticize the Thai government or the royal family in certain ways. And so the rule of thumb for any foreigner, because we don't understand everything, is just don't talk about the Thai government, don't talk about the royal family. And if you have any questions, talk to Kitty. It says Rochelle, but I'll won't be there. I don't know that I know very many of the answers for that, but Kitty will. But do it, pull her aside. And that goes for any of the big cultural questions. If you don't know what's going on, just pull her or me or somebody aside and ask. Just so we don't offend anybody or walk into something we don't need to. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Oh, yes. So here is a ceremony to do with the present king. And so you have to understand that they truly believe, or at least some people do, that the traditional belief in Thailand was that the king was a god king. Think like ancient Egypt or those kind of things where they were a deity. And so Rochelle had this on here so you can kind of get an idea. Hopefully it plays. Gold crown. It's the traditional styles. And then all these people come up and present gifts. They all have different significance. I'm going to skip a little. A lot of bowing. All right. So that was to do with the government. It's important just because we don't want to run into any issues. Otherwise, we probably won't notice anything. The next section is to do with head, hands, and feet. I put these two pictures on there. I hope you guys can see all the shoes laid out. You take your shoes off whenever you go into someone's home, whenever you go into a holy building, an important building, certain like malls, that sort of thing. You don't have to do it, but both of these are outside the churches. The church on the right is actually where we're going to be with the kids. The one on the left is one that we went to a number of years back for a different event. You just always take your shoes off. Sometimes it's easier just to wear flip-flops everywhere you go, just because of that, if your feet can handle it. All right. So, feet. In most Southeast and Eastern cultures in Asia, feet are not considered very polite. They're a dirty part of your body. And so people take special care when it comes to their feet. And so here are some of the general rules that you should have in order to avoid doing the wrong thing culturally. So just consider your feet as being dirty. So in that, like, you don't point with your feet. A lot of times people will try to like point in a distance. Don't do that. And definitely don't point at a person with your feet, because what you're saying is my foot is equal to what I'm pointing at. And so if you're pointing at a person, you're insulting that person. Don't show the bottom of your feet. This one comes into play when we're like sitting around at the church or at the house worship group, because everyone's kind of kneeling down and squatting. Just kind of tuck your feet away. You can see down there the picture. People will sit like that. And then don't touch your feet to anybody. So like, don't tap anybody to get their attention or anything like that. Because again, your feet are dirty and you're putting that on the other person. Rochelle talked about this one story. I don't know if you remember this. but it's one of those faux pas. So all of the money in Thailand, the baht, has the picture of the king on it. And so don't step on the money in Thailand. Rochelle talks about how she did it and realized she did it and offended people and was embarrassed for quite a while afterwards. Because you don't think about it here in the States. You might drop a coin or something and try to stop it from rolling. Don't use your foot to stop it. So on the opposite end is the head. The head tends to be a sacred part of a person's body. And so you take special care in not offending people. Don't touch someone else's head without asking permission first. Definitely don't pat someone on the head. And it might be different if you're friends or you've made a good connection with somebody. But in general, when you're touching someone's head, you want to be really careful. That's why a lot of times too, when you're bowing, you're lowering your head to show respect. Let's see here. Okay. I'll say one last thing to do with heads and feet. So there's the practical side of things of your feet are dirty. You're walking around out in the village. You're getting your feet dirty. You're stepping and stuff. You don't want to insult people. But there's also the spiritual side of things. So with your head being sacred, they think, spirits, your spirit, whatever might be in your head. And so it's the highest part of your body. And so the feet being the exact opposite. And so if you look at it as a hierarchy, you don't touch something that's low and disgusting to something that's sacred and holy. We don't want to offend anybody, essentially. All right. And then hands. So in Thailand, people don't shake hands very often. They may shake hands with you because you're a foreigner and they're being very hospitable. But in general, people there will greet each other by putting their hands together and doing a slight bow of the head. And this is the greeting. And then you would say hello in Thai, which is sawadi. Okay. Do you remember, Branch, what you say?
No.
Okay. Do you remember what you say, Hattie?
Sawadika.
Sawadika, yeah. So Kiara, in Thai, you speak a lot of times to your own gender in the sentence that you're saying. So when you're being polite, there's polite words that you add on. And so when you're saying hello, which is sawadi, you being female would say ka at the end. So you would say sawadi ka and you would bow and put your hands together. Branch and I would say sawadi krap or sawadi kra. So it just kind of depends where you are in Thailand for that branch. But krap is well understood, like crap, but with an accent. So
Could you repeat it one more time?
yes, sawadi
Sawadi
ka.
ka. Sawadi ka?
Correct. That was perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, that was perfect. So now in saying all that, with the handshake and the bowing and everything, we have to remember too, there is another culture we'll be working with. So when we're up in the village, a lot of the people there are Karen, and they will all do the bow. They will say "Sawadee ka," "Sawadee krap," but a traditional Karen greeting actually is a handshake, but it's a special type of handshake where you do your right hand, and then your left hand you actually hold your right elbow at the same time to show respect. Does that make sense? But if you do the Thai greeting with the hands together, Sawadee krap, perfectly okay. So I have noticed that if you do the Korean greeting to Korean people, they are very impressed with you because it's like one extra level of culture that you've seemed to understand about them. Any questions on any of that? Oh, awesome. Okay. So the next section is called the Land of Smiles. I was going to put a nice smiley face here, but I didn't get a chance to. Thailand is known as the Land of Smiles. And you have to understand in Thai culture, being warm, being welcoming, being hospitable is a part of their culture values. And so smiling shows respect. It's a way to build connection. It's a way to maintain like a harmony in social settings. And so people will smile all the time. You'll go into a shop, they'll smile at you, they'll say hello. You go meet some random stranger on the street, they'll smile, they'll say hello. You go into the hotel, they'll smile, and you will be very impressed that everybody is smiling. Because hospitality and this idea of harmony in the culture is so ingrained in the people there. Whereas, like, maybe in America, we're all like, oh, freedom. There, it would be hospitality. It would be social harmony. And so understanding that value gives you a bit of insight into who the people are. They want you to feel welcome. They actually use this in tourism. This was our team about 2 years ago. The tourist campaign from the country used what was already there in the cultural roots and just went with it. So then everybody in the world gets to know that Thailand is the land of smiles. Yeah. So. All right. So here's where to go a little deeper. So when it comes to culture, there's levels of culture. So what you see is everyone smiling, but understanding what's happening behind the smile is important, because to them, it's not showing happiness all the time. It can, but it doesn't always. And so there's a dark side to this, because it's the primary reason to smile is the social harmony. It's not about the individual's happiness. So when you see someone smiling, it doesn't necessarily mean they're happy. It means they're trying to make the room feel pleasant. They're trying to make you feel happy. To make the social situation better. And so the dark side of this is that a lot of times people will suppress what's really going on inside of them in order to make you feel comfortable. And so you have to understand those dynamics that are going on. So you might see a situation when we're there where something goes really wrong. Food isn't ready for us, or this person over here is angry about something, and everyone's going to stay smiling. And you're like, the room feels tense, but everyone's still smiling. What's happening? And it's because they have the cultural value is to keep that harmony within the social setting, even at the expense of their own personal feelings. And so this can confuse foreigners a lot of times, especially Westerners, because we smile when we're happy, not to make other people feel happy necessarily. So the question is, how do you know if someone is genuinely smiling? And so this comes to body language and eyes. So a real smile tends to get into someone's eyes. And so if you can start paying attention to micro expressions on someone's face, you might get a little bit of a clue if they're genuinely happy or if they're just smiling to be polite. When it comes to body language, are they sitting close to you? Are they open? Are they welcoming? Or are they like turning their body to you kind of to push you off a little bit? I have a picture of some of the kids that were there at the home last year. They're all smiling. And usually with the kids, they are very genuine with their smiles. They will get embarrassed when they're smiling too much because they're not supposed to show those emotions all the time. But here's the key thing for us. So whether their smile is genuine or not, if we are showing genuine love of God, it can break through those cultural norms and values. Because they're not always used to someone being genuine with their smiles all the time. So here comes this group from overseas, loving these kids, loving the people there, and genuinely being happy and joyful. It can change atmospheres. It can change whatever's going on in their lives, and that impacts people over there. So feel free to smile away. All right. Oh, nice. Any questions so far then? No. All right. I'm just going to check my notes, make sure I didn't miss anything on any of that. Official organization. Hands and feet. Don't step on money. All right. Branch, do you remember any of these things?
Yeah. It's ringing a bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember any? Do you guys have any stories of any of these things happening?
Not
No.
that I recollect.
Okay.
I think so.
So I tend to pick up on those micro expressions fairly well on people. And I remember a few times where there were tense situations going on or embarrassing situations going on, but everyone was still smiling. But if you watch people's eyes and they're trying to like avert their eyes because they're embarrassed or that smile doesn't reach their eyes, you get a better clue of how people are. And they won't tell you. That's the other thing. They won't tell you that you've done something wrong because of that hospitality. So we need to be vigilant in making sure that we are being loving and caring. And if we're making mistakes, to apologize. And even if we don't understand the mistakes we're making, hopefully that makes sense. So I don't see us having too many issues. Kitty will be awesome in helping us navigate some of that stuff. Kitty is guilty of this all the time, where she will smile and say, "Oh yes, whatever you want to do, we'll do that." But she's in charge, and so she gets to make those decisions. And so that's been a big growing thing for her over the last year or two, is stepping out and being willing to say no to people. All right. And then the next two slides are just some recapping stuff of what we just talked about. So respect the royal family. Be careful what you say. Don't do anything insulting towards them. Take your shoes off when you're going into important buildings, especially personal buildings and spiritual ones. Smiling will go a long way. So you can take that on too and keep smiling if there's a tense situation. This might happen with like border patrol, or we're getting in trouble with somebody official. If you keep smiling, they are more likely to be polite in the situation too. And then be mindful of your feet and hands and head and what you're doing with them. It's funny how much that comes out and you don't even realize it. Oh, there is one more thing to do with hands that I forgot to mention. Can you guys see me on the video? So in America, especially, people will sometimes do this motion or call people like this, like come here, come over here. With your hand, with your palm facing up, is very rude to do in Thailand. What you do is you turn your hand over and you just say, come here like this. If you do it the other way around, it will kind of imply that the other person is socially below you or that you are very angry at them. A parent doing it to a kid and the kid is in trouble would be an acceptable way to do this. So keep that in mind too. So if you're trying to call someone across the yard, put your hand facing palm down and towards you. So that will catch a lot of people off guard too. Let's see. Learned some basic Thai phrases. We did Sawadee Krap. And we'll do a few more later on, a little bit closer to the time. I think the Rochelle, she's going to give us all folders that have like hotel information, flight information stuff, all that sort of thing. And I think she usually puts a sheet in there of a couple of basic Thai phrases that are pretty helpful. You don't need too many. Hello, thank you are usually the ones everyone learns. And then outside of that, it's just polite. People will open up to you if you know a little bit. Then that next one, to keep calm and avoid confrontation. That goes with the smiling. Having a confrontation in public, especially, is very rude. So if you have emotions that you can't control, maybe give yourself a timeout for a minute and come back after. But yeah, yelling at someone in public would be very disrespectful. And the last one is just to make sure you're respecting anything that's Buddhist in the country. Next week, I think we're going to do the religious stuff. So we'll go a little bit more into that. But just you don't want to insult everyone by insulting what they believe in. That's all that's about. And I think that's the end of the slides. Yes, it is. And then I have announcements. All right. Let me get rid of this page here for a second then. And then I can make a big page. There we go. Okay. All right. So Branch, Kiara, Patty, any questions so far?
Nope.
Okay. Either I'm doing really well or I'm very boring.
Yes.
I'm glad you agree.
That was a joke.
Yes. Okay, let's see here. Okay. So a reminder, we touched base a little bit on this last week, but again, I'm gonna hit on these two things. We're gonna be in the village for most of our time. Up in the village is not city life. It's a lot more simple, a lot more slow paced. But then the other thing that I wanted to point out today was just hygiene related things. We're going to get dirty up there. So make sure you are cleaning any cuts or wounds or any weird bug bites that you get. This is just make sure you're paying attention to those things. Band-aid them up, wash them with soap. Being in the village environment, it's very easy for things to get infected. And then the other one to do with the village one is drink water. While we're in Thailand, it is going to be hot and very humid, and you will lose water very quickly from your body. So Kitty is going to get us lots of water. Make sure you always have water going on if we're going out. And don't drink the water from the taps unless Kitty says it's okay to drink from the tap, because you will get sick. I've gotten sick on a few mission trips, and almost every time it was from water. Water sneaking into places they weren't supposed to. There was ice cubes that we didn't know weren't right in one situation. drank well water from another situation that we didn't know was well water. Don't drink the water, drink the bottled water, but drink lots of it. Otherwise, you will dehydrate.
What should we drink within a day?
I don't know how much you should drink in a day. Some people like to bring like the little hydration packages to put in there or flavored because you're going to be drinking more water than you're probably used to, and that can get difficult. But the hydration ones are good to do periodically too because you lose your electrolytes, salts, and potassiums and stuff. So, any questions on those two things?
Are we staying in the same?
I think so. It's a cute little. I don't know. How would you describe the thing? The hotel area we're at? Huts? Like fancy hotel huts?
It's a motel without cars.
A motel without cars.
Walk-up service.
Yes.
That's kind of what it is. It's a motel. I don't remember what they call it in.
Well, did they call it bungalow?
Yeah.
A bungalow is just a little house to the ground. So yeah, Kira, you'll have like, I don't know if you'll be rooming with someone or not. I haven't heard that part yet. But you'll have your little room with a bed on the ground. Usually, you'll have a mosquito net, and then a bathroom. And the bathrooms there, for the most part, are they're tiled or concrete floors, and the shower, the toilet, the sink are all in the same room, and so all the water flows out the same way. So I was thinking about doing a specific how to use a Thai toilet teaching training thing at some point, because that could be fun. So and then we're going to be walking around a lot in the village, most likely. So hopefully everyone is physically able. Let's see here. Insurance cards. All right. That's funny. The two people who aren't here are the two who don't have the insurance cards in yet. Kiara, did you get the email from Rochelle about when the money is due?
Yes, I got that.
Okay. I think you're only like 350 away.
Yeah, I think I have it. I just need like people gave me cash, so I just need to upload it to
Okay.
the app or fundraising thing.
Awesome. Very cool. And then we talked about flights and hotels. Cool. Okay. I don't know yet. So if you could send, I don't know if our flights are the same once we leave. So
Do you want me to forward the email that Rochelle sent me?
yeah,
to
that'd be
you?
good. I'd like to take a look. I'm assuming we leave Thailand at the same time. I don't know if we're leaving Taiwan at the same time. And it could be that we leave Taiwan together and then split up in Seattle. So it'd be nice to know, just to have an idea. So, do you have any questions about travel side of things, Kiara? Flights and stuff, or?
No, I just had a question about like the vaccines and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I think I had all of them except for the hepatitis A one.
Okay.
And then it said something about like a deworming medication offered at like the end of the flight.
Yep.
Can you maybe like did you guys do both of those, get the hepatitis A and do the deworming?
Yeah, so Hep A is suggested. If I remember, that is a foodborne one.
Yeah.
Food and water. It always helps to know where these diseases come from too, because you can tend to avoid infection anyway. And so most everything Kitty is going to make sure we eat will be safe to eat. If you have any questions along the way, I'm more than happy to give you advice on what not to eat when we're out and about. there's a lot of people who will avoid street food because they're scared to get sick. I have a couple of general rules that keep me safe, that I think are pretty safe. But I would suggest the Hep A if you can, even if you just get the first shot. I think it comes in a series. And then the deworming one, we get on the from Kitty. I was going to say Rochelle. It's just I think it's a 2 dose, so 2 pills total. And they give it to us there. We take it when we get back home. And it will hopefully kill anything that's in your system that you may have picked up along the way. It's not difficult, nothing to be scared of. And we can talk about that more too there. But the big thing is that in case if we ate something or we got exposed to something, it will kill it out of our system. So highly suggested. Obviously, all these things are kind of if you want to risk it or not risk it, but I highly suggest the deworming one at the end of the trip. Yeah. So
Thank you.
yeah. So that was that enough answers for those 2 things?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. You have any other questions? Branch, you got anything?
Nope.
No? Okay. And then Kiara, you said you were good to do a game and a craft?
Yeah, I can do those. And then was it were they both to David and Goliath, or was there a different story?
I was gonna clarify that with Kitty, but I think they may need to be one for each
Okay.
from your end, because it may be that while the craft is going on with one group, the game goes on at the same time. So you couldn't
Okay.
be in 2 places at once. So I was gonna clarify that with her there. Yeah, I'm hoping we get the sling thing done. And to clarify, it's a sling, not a slingshot.
Okay.
So the slingshot's the one you pull. The sling is the one you fling around the place.
Those
Yeah. So I have shown up a few places where I've said that and they still didn't get it after you showed them. And it's like, no, it's completely different. One is a legitimate weapon and the other is a hunting tool. So, trying to think, is there anything else? Kitty and Rochelle have been filling in the schedule. Once it's completed, they'll send it to everybody. I've just gotten peeks of it so far. We'll be pretty busy the whole time. We'll do some stuff in the mornings or afternoons or the evenings, depending on the day. We'll go to the house worship group, I think twice. And then we'll be at the children's home doing activities twice. We have a sports event at one school and then a hygiene event at another school. And everyone will take part in both of those, and we'll figure out jobs on that later as it gets closer. And we'll go to church on the Sunday morning. I think those are the big events, the big ministry events. And then the VBS, that's one most of the day. So, and the VBS will encompass both stories, both sets of games, both sets of crafts. And then when we go to the children's home, it will be repeats of those things, one each night. So cool. You got any questions? Any advice? Do you have any advice for Kiara? No.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Branch, any last minute words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom. Wow. I was talking to somebody this week about a mission trip that they just came back on, and they were kind of put out by the fact that nothing on the trip seems to go the way it's planned back here in the States. And that was really hard for that person to deal with. Dinner plans will change 3 times before dinner happens. Um, and so, I don't know if it's just America, you know, staying on schedule is a big deal, but it seems like most of the rest of the world don't care so much about that. So, um, as Bruce Lee would say, be like water. Uh, yeah. What comes, what happens is, you know,
That's good.
yeah.
So yeah, Kiara, how do you do with change in schedules and things not going to plan?
I'm super flexible, so
Okay,
it should not be a problem.
good. Okay, because yeah, things will change constantly. So yes, I figure if everyone's ready with what they have, with whatever their individual jobs are, if everyone has a testimony to give, just in case, and then we show up and just do what we're told, we should be okay. So yeah, but it's good to be flexible because yeah, nothing goes to plan fully over there. That's good. All right. Any other questions, or we'll just close out in prayer? Cool. Ranch, you want to close this out?
Yeah. Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity to do your work. We thank you for your constant guidance in all of this, and we ask that you help us keep mindful of um, being respectful while we're there, um, acknowledging their culture, um, and being there for each other uh, as we work this all out. So, thank you again, Lord. Bless this mission trip. Bless our group, and we give you the glory for all of it in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Is everyone good to do 5:00 for the meetings from now on instead of 4:30? Or is that going to interfere with anybody?
No, I'm good.
You're good. Kira, you're good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, awesome. Sahaya, that she was asking if that we could do that because her work switched a little bit. She's not home until closer to 5. So, all right, awesome. We'll do 5:00 next week then.
5:00 next week. All right.
5:00 next week. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
How do I stop this? Here we go.